Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another Magic Arena Explorer video. So today we are playing some 4-colour adventures, so we're kind of straying back into the world of exiling spells and casting them from exile, which is a key part of what happens when you cast a creature with an adventure. And we're smashing a few different strategies together here, but specifically the new card that we are focusing on here is Kellan the Kid. So this is a 3/3 for 3 with flying and lifelink, so it's already pretty aggressively costed, although you do need the right colours of mana to be able to cast it. And it has an ability, whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you may cast a permanent spell with equal or less mana value from your hand without paying its mana cost. If you don't, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. So although this is kind of a plot matters mechanic and is kind of designed around that, what we're doing instead is very much kind of taking advantage of that it's just casting something from somewhere other than our hand, and when we cast the creature side of an adventure creature, when it's been on an adventure, then we are casting it from somewhere other than our hand, and so we can get a lot of value off this card. So that's kind of the idea behind the deck. It's kind of just built around the adventure mechanic and getting value off Kellan. Then we are running thematically a couple of copies of Kellan Joins Up. So this is a legendary enchantment that has the same mana cost. And whenever... actually, is that true of all of the... no, it's not true of Vraska. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile an online card with mana value 3 or less from your hand. It becomes plotted. And whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So that's pretty snazzy. Got some good abilities there. Obviously, it doesn't impact the board straight away, so it does have to be cast at the right time, because taking turn 3 off against some decks may be fairly devastating. And we are running a newish card with Kellan Inquisitive Prodigy, so this was from Karlov Manor. It has an adventure for green and a blue. You can investigate and play an additional land. And then it's a 3/4 with flying and vigilance, and whenever it attacks, destroy up to 1 target artifact. If you controlled that opponent, draw a card. So, on occasion, we will use this attack ability to kind of get some value off that as well. And then we are also running Pia Nalaar in this deck, so it is a kind of Pia deck as well. So it's 2/3 for 2. Thopters you control have haste. And whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. So there are strategies which are kind of just built around this card, but we are kind of just smashing it together with some adventures to get the kind of value off that. It's not the classic like impulse drawing with kind of reckless impulse or Ren's Resolve that you often see playing Pia Nalaar. This is a slightly different build, but we could get plenty of value off it as well, and it's a fairly good body just on its own. So in terms of the rest of the deck, so it is a Yorion deck, hence why we are sort of playing a few different strategies, as we have room for them. So our adventure creatures, we have 4 questing druids, a good, not only an adventure card in itself, but the cards it exiles are the cards it exiles can also be played for value off Kellan and Pia Nalaar. 2 Brazen Borrowers, 4 Bone Crusher Giants, and 4 Lovestruck Beasts. We've seen all of these before in many, many different strategies, kind of a testament to how good adventure creatures are, that so many of them see play. So that's our kind of adventure creature package. And then the rest of it, we've got 4 Edgewall Linkkeepers. So this, whenever we cast a creature that has an adventure, we draw a card, and it doesn't need to have gone on the adventure first. 4 copies of Lightning Helix, very good versatile removal spell that gains a bit of life. Lucky Clover, 2 mana artifact that copies all of our adventures whenever we cast them. And then the rest of the kind of top end, we've got 2 copies of Omnath. So this just very, very powerful 4-color card that slots into the colors we're running in this deck, and also gets some more advantage off Kellan Joins Up as well. And then 4 Leyline Bindings, as we are running so many different colors, then we can generally cast this for quite cheap, and it's a very, very good removal spell. Then in terms of our mana base, you can see that there's a lot of different lands that we have to kind of use to get the right mix. So you can kind of peruse these at your leisure in the deck list. But as you can see, there's a fair few triomes, dual lands, and also some basic land, 1 of each basic land in the deck as well, because we are running 4 Fable Passage to get the double landfall trigger. And to help fix our mana, and then we do have an Otawara and a Boseiju as well. So quite a complicated mana base. Then in the sideboard, obviously one slot is taken up with Yorion, and we've got an Alpine Moon just to shut down those annoying lands that the opponent might be playing, like Lotus Field. Invasion of Gobakan, this is a good way of disrupting the opponent's hand, and also when you cast the other side of a battle, you are technically casting it from exile. So that does also trigger our other cards. What's happened here? They've all gone a bit funny. 2 Rest in Peace as Graveyard Hate. Scalding Viper. So this is another adventure creature that is good at dealing with opponents who are trying to go wide with lots of cheap spells. Rending Volley, removal spell for blue and white creatures, destroy evil, shutting down enchantments as well as bigger creatures. 1 Abrade, 2 Burning Hands. We are running 2 Scalding Vipers. This sideboard's got a bit funny here. It hasn't ordered itself in mana cost, but you can kind of see it there. So quite cheap sideboard just to bring in some additional action against some of the strategies we may face. So that is the deck, 4 colour adventures. I've no idea if it's going to be good, but I'm quite excited to try it. It's got lots of fun cards in it. It's trying to do lots of different things. Let's see if it can do any of them successfully. So thank you very much for watching. As ever, hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. And yeah, let's go on to the ladder. Six land, 1 Pia is probably not good enough. That is better. So let's put back Triome, I think. So it's a Slick Shot show-off deck. That's fine. So if I stick Stomping Ground into play, I'll have Leyline Binding available. Chandra, that is fine.
Go ahead, fight me as hard as you can, because I'm real stubborn. Give a toast? I'd love to.
Don't hurry back. I've got a lot going on here and not enough land to do everything I want to, so I think what I shall do is play Edgewall and immediately follow it up with a Questing Druid, draw a card. Okay, another light up stage, you say. Why would they draw a Spikefield Hazard? That's just rude. See if they go after my Innkeeper here. Okay, at least that's not aimed at my face. Ooh, Lightning Helix is good. So what I might do here is just stick Lucky Clover into play, set up another turn. Why would you play that Ramanap Ruins and not the one from Exile? Searing Blood has no targets, that's good. So am I pulling the trigger on Helix here, or am I questing Druiding instead? I think I should questing Druid, as they're only presenting 3 damage here. Ooh, Omnath. Thank you for being you. Even better. We shall grab a planes here. Then we shall lightning helix one of these and play Kellan the Kid. Okay, that is a pretty spicy turn. Kamanu is a card, but it's probably not good enough. Cool. Excellent. So, how am I doing this against mono red? Scalding Viper seems like a good shout here. I'll have an Abrade as well. What should I take out? Kellan joins up is probably a little bit on the slow side for this deck. And let's get rid of a Lucky Clover as well. Turns where we're not really impacting the border. Not great when you're playing mono red. Yep, this will do. Okay, let's start with a Regarin Triome. That's aggressive, but we like to see it. Okay, I don't have a way of getting that off the board, unfortunately. So I think what I'm just going to do here is play a blocker, just so that if they don't get through it, they can't cast either of their light up the stages. And yes, it's a loss of an Edgewall Innkeeper, but I think that's worth it. We just need to survive long enough to cast Omnath. Ferostodon, eh? Well, they've cast a land now, so they've played a land, rather. Okay, that's pretty good going for us. So let's stick their Ferostodon under a Leyline Binding. Well, I'm pretty patient here, so I'll just play another Edgewall. Cool. Okay, they just couldn't get through our stuff. We didn't particularly have a good hand there, so that's encouraging. And we hit Platinum as well. This is a bit awkward in terms of mana. No green and no white is really tough. Yeah, let's ship this one. Okay, this is better. So let's put back Stomping Ground, I think. Yep. And do I run the Edgewall Innkeeper out on turn 1? I don't have any adventures, so I might draw one, so I think it's probably worth it. Yeah, if I drew a Questing Druid, I'd be quite tempted to just play it. Just to D Mulligan. Okay, Pia Nalaar's not bad, so... Oh, I can't play her. But next turn. So I've got the pieces of a good opening. I just need some adventure creatures now. Let's see what Pia Nalaar can do for us here. Okay, the opponent is deducing. I think I'm going to play on that straight away here. This doesn't feel like the kind of game where the life gain will be hugely relevant. I don't know. Is this a creativity deck? Because I mean, it could be creativity with deduce. It's quite hard to tell. So gain the life. I will attack with both my creatures and then either stick Yorion in my hand if they don't do anything else. Yep. Yeah, maybe this is creativity. They've got a lot of red mana. That would make sense. Yep. Okay, what are they going to get? Atraxa? Yep. Okay, well if I draw Leyline Binding, we're not out of it. Sunfall, March of Otherworldly Light. Yeah, I don't think that's going to do it for us. Okay, let's... They successfully creativity there, so let's just go to game 2. Let's pop in Destroy Evil, Invasion of Gobakan, a Braid. I think that will do. And what should we take out? What's just a little bit on the slow side here? Bone Crusher Giant probably doesn't do much for us. Neither does Lightning Helix. Yeah, that'll do for now, I think. It's quite an aggressive hand, which is good. Can hopefully do some damage to the opponent before they can get off the ground. Hello, yes, it's the same person as it was in game 1. I think I'll hold the trio now based on that. Yeah, maybe this deck needs counter spells in the sideboard. I was a little surprised when I saw the list that the sideboard is a little bizarrely tuned. I think, like, I don't know why it's got Burning Hands in it when it could be running Mystical Dispute. But who am I to wonder why? May as well try the list as it is configured. Well, I'll take the map tokens quite happily. Fine. Let's destroy evil. Their Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Pass the turn. Do I double block here? No, I don't think so. Let's get Lovestruck Beast into play. Now at least we have the option to either abrade the thing they target with creativity. Okay, they are determined not to let me keep these Lovestruck Beasts in play. Let's go! Now I want to see your hand, please. What have you got going on in there? Yeah, I can survive without the questing druid in play. Now I can force them to use Prismari command if they want to. I'll pull the trigger on let's destroy that. Fizzle their creativity. I didn't really want to draw a land there. Oh well, let's keep our options open. I am going to binding away this goblin, just because it's creating treasure every turn and it's annoying me. As is simply just drawing land. So I could, depending on what it is, I can cycle a Triome. Or just stick Yorion in hand, because this binding can then be used again. I don't need that, so let's get rid of it. Crack the other map token. I'll keep Lightning Helix on top, that's fine. Now, flip the invasion. Put Yorion in our hand. Pass the turn. Maybe I could have played... Yeah, maybe I should have played a land there. So-so. Well, we may as well go for lethal here, I suppose. Sure. Well, yes, they can see I have a Destroy Evil, so... Okay. So, Questing Druid's now a lethal threat. Even if they fire off for creativity here, I'm not hugely worried.
Focused and disciplined. Encounter no. I have just the trick for this.
Yeah, Deduce is just a card. Cool. Okay. Yeah, pretty happy with this as configured. Sure. A couple of Pia Nalaars will hopefully get us to where we need to be. But it seems well, they mulliganed to 5, so hopefully they kept a stinker of a hand. Ooh, now this is an interesting choice. I think I'm going to stick Lucky Clover into play and then double Kellan next turn. Yeah, I don't need to pull the trigger on Gobakan yet. So let's stick that into play like that. Grab our forest. Now we can Gobakan. Yeah, let's just take their creativity here. Pia Nalaar. And chill, I think. Pia Nalaar and wait with a clue token. Okay, that's decent. They do have white mana now, at least. Draw with our clue. Destroy Evil's quite a good one to have drawn, so let's have Kellan in play just because we can. Force them to remove our first Pia. Okay, that felt a little premature, but sure. This is slightly awkward in terms of mana, but I think probably keepable in the sense that I think we'll probably draw out of it. I've also switched up the sideboard, so you'll see if you look at the deck list that it's not the same as the one we started with. I have taken out the Burning Hands and the Scalding Vipers, and I put in some counter spells. Omen of the Sea. Okay, so this is traditional, what looks like 80 card Azorius control. So that'd be fun for everyone. So let's start with Edgewall Innkeeper. Off you go. On an adventure. Let's hope it's a good one. My creatures are just constantly getting told to get lost at the moment, aren't they? Okay, well, let's have another Pia Nalaar. Crack some map tokens. This feels like a fortuitous matchup to have decided to change the sideboard. So I'm kind of forcing them to have a sweeper here, or lose. The fact that they've immediately put Yorion in their hand is probably a good sign. Yep. Because, yeah, they can get some value off that, but I am immediately going to stick it under a leyline binding. So how much damage is this? Not quite lethal? No, not quite. So, have Yorion in hand. Oh, have our own Yorion in hand. Okay, they are digging for a supreme verdict here. And they did not find it. Okay. So, I think we did well to sneak game one there. Let's put an invasion. Dovan's Veto and Mystical Dispute. And I will take out Lightning Helix. And probably a couple of Bone Crusher Giants. Yep. Fairly easy sideboarding against control. Does have Questing Druid, which will probably get countered. But then if I bait them with a Lucky Clover... no. Okay, this is a better hand. So let's put back Razor Verge Thicket. Am I running a Pia Nalaar into a counter spell? Well, if it's not coming down on turn 2, it's probably not coming down at all. Okay. It's not terrible. That's fine, I get a little bit of value out of it at least. Kellan's fun. So, let's attack. Play Kellan the Kid. Plotted Dusk Animus, eh? Okay, well, let's stick our invasion into play for free. Interesting. Okay, well, let's stick one Supreme Verdict out of their hand. Now at least we have some protection for our creatures from another verdict. Okay, that's kind of fine. I mean... Okay, let's just follow it up with an old math here. Main phase memory deluge. You do indeed love to see it. And a mystical dispute as well. Everything's coming up Millhouse. No, don't want another Omnath. Cool, land is good. Now hopefully they will try and just cast Teferi here. Yep. Oh no, Verdict. Yeah, that's fine. Stop them in the face. Play Bone Crusher Giants. That, yeah, drawing another Verdict's a bit annoying. Prowess, Mystical Dispute that. Don't really want them gaining lots of life, so I'm gonna... And now they're under, their life total's under a lot of pressure here. Yeah, so they can Verdict again. I'm just gonna cast a Brazen Borrower. So now they need another mass removal spell. And I'm presenting 2 lethal threats. Fair enough. Well, it's the same calculation here, so find another mass removal spell.
Right on schedule. Hurry.
Cool. Okay. Excellent. Yes, switching up the sideboard was a very good shout there. I think it definitely needed those counter spells as opposed to those pretty weak additional sideboard cards. I feel like my mastery pass should have been going up, but hasn't been here. That's weird, isn't it? Well, I shall investigate that in a little bit. In the meantime, here's the deck list one more time with the slightly altered sideboard. So if you look at the deck list in the comments, it'll be this version. So yeah, switched up the sideboard a little, but the main deck seemed to do okay. Yeah, Kellan the Kid, you get some value off that. Kellan joins up. Yeah, there's just some good stuff in here. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Hit those like and subscribe buttons, as always. Appreciate the support, and I will see you next time.